All right, guys, welcome back. Boots come in pairs. As you can see, I am not in my normal spot. We had some of that Milwaukee flooding and sewage, which is great. But we are back with another show. We missed all of the Cubs and Brewers series because of my predicament, which was, I don't know, if you'd have told me before the series started we'd get three, I would have been okay with that. We swept the doubleheader. I'd have been okay with that. The fact they came out not getting that fourth game when they had a shot to feels like a missed opportunity. But where they stand right now in the standings, Milwaukee has 83 and 50, heavy lead still 6.5. But the Cubs are the top wildcard team. 20 games over 500. I feel good about that. How do you feel after that Brewers series and where they stand right now?
Yeah, I mean, three series wins in a row, and really, if we look back at it, like the Cubs are not playing as bad as we would think. Like you'd think it was just a catastrophic collapse, but they're playing at about 500 baseball. It's just that they were playing so well before. It was just like not getting the series wins. They would like lose two games and then win the finale, lose two games, win the finale. So that's kind of how it was for a while. But going into that Brewers series, we kind of made it as a fan base like a like a make or break. Had to win it, or at least you couldn't split because there was five games. But winning the series was important. The fact that they were able to take three games against that team was awesome. I actually went to Game Five. Showed up, pitched magnificently. The team had so many opportunities to score. They got to Priester. They drew walks. They just could not come up with the big hit. They were hitting the ball in the gap, but Sal Frelick made some nice catches. The Brewers made some good defensive plays like they do. The game was very, very winnable, but they just couldn't come through with the big hit. So that was kind of unfortunate. But the ballpark was buzzing. It was fun to be at that game. Shota looked awesome. Continues on his great August and his really great year. Go into Anaheim and sweep them. Kyle Tucker kind of got that going again, which was good to see.
Yep.
Finally, the injury was disclosed the last game of the Brewers series, which not sure why it took them so long to disclose that. But
well, that was interesting
probably
because when that happened and he slid into the base, because I remember the day he did it,
right.
and we go, ooh, that could have been something. And then to go this long, I know he's trying to get a contract. I know he's trying to play through stuff. And hopefully this is the turnaround point for him where he's, took a couple days off. Again, hitting a couple homers in Anaheim was huge. That showed he can at least still do that. Hopefully the bat speeds up a little more because it was down a couple miles an hour. But I think we all saw that when he slid in the second, stealing that base, that maybe something happened there. And we were concerned that he would miss time immediately.
Right. And the fact that he didn't, the fact that he still showed up and continued to play decent defense, still continued to take the walks, which was good.
Yeah.
But yeah, clearly there's that gear that he was not able to go to. He hit 218 in July. He's hitting 189 in August. So clearly is not the same player. And guys like Kyle Tucker don't just fall off a cliff. Like there's a reason. And I know like sliding in face first is cool and guys wear the mitts or whatever. I am just so not a fan of that. It is not efficient. There's so much you're so much more susceptible to injuries. Like you going in hard feet first, hitting the bag with a pop-up slide. I mean, if you're trying to avoid a tag, face first can help. But if you're running, if you're lugging out a double, if you're doing whatever you're doing, going as hard as you can, feet first. Momentum is still staying forward. You're hitting the bag. You can pop up and take a third base. The ball gets away. I just don't think face first sliding is really all that effective. And this is just a premium example. Like
I would love to talk to somebody because they all do it, and I would love to see if there's actual analytics because obviously they practice it and they're doing it for a reason. But I would love to see if there's actual analytics to show that sliding head first is better than sliding with your feet because nobody slides with their feet.
No.
I remember the hobby slide at home. He did it, but he like pointed his toe down. I understand from a grabbing the base, you have more control of your hands than you do your feet. So I could see that a little bit. And also if you're trying to avoid a tag, you can swim move. But
that's the biggest thing, I think.
know.
But like, how many times have we seen guys like slide feet first and they go over the bag and then they can't reach back? At least if you're hitting the bag, you have somewhere to, because when you're popping up, you're hitting the bag, you're staying on the bag, and you're popping up. You can kind of keep your momentum a little bit better. Like how many, like we saw PCA swipe a bit, had a base clearly stolen. That's when in the midst of when nothing could go right for him, he gets a nice hit, overslides the base, and it's like, what are you like you're so much better than that. And it's like I don't see that happening as much when you're sliding feet first. I just don't.
No, especially guys that are as fast as PCA. Tucker has stolen most of his bases with pretty ease, I would say. Like he gets good jumps and he's just fast enough. So do these guys need to slide head first? Not necessarily. Matt Shaw is reckless. He's kind of fun to watch. He's almost like stumbling over as he does it. But I think for how many things have been going wrong for the Cubs, it's important to look at. Again, I'm going to go back to the standings here. They are 20 games over 500. I know they should have won last night too. We can pick and critique different things. I think it feels worse. I don't think I've felt this bad about a 20 game over 500 team than I have, because again, you're looking at the Brewers and they're 33 games over 500. That doesn't feel good. But also, they were 15 games over at the beginning of June. So they've only really gained 5 games on their own record since June. They've been playing essentially 500 baseball. So that doesn't really feel great, but you did a lot of your work early. You can play 500 baseball and just continue to win series. So
and 90, like we've been saying, 90 wins in today's game for the most part, especially with that third wild card spot. 90 wins will get into the playoffs, and if the Cubs kind of keep this up where they're at, like 90 and 72 is 18 over. So they're really not far off the pace. They have a really favorable schedule moving forward. Play Atlanta a couple times, Washington, Pittsburgh.
Their schedule.
The Reds are a tough team, but they can beat them. They really aren't playing a bunch of great teams though. They're not playing near the squads that the Brewers are playing. The Brewers are going to play Philly. They're going to play Toronto. So it's like the Brewers have a tougher schedule.
However,
I don't know. The Cubs are in control of their own destiny, but they have to hit. They're playing defense, but they have to hit. I was looking at all the batting averages and the OPSs for all of their top guys. At pretty much everybody not named Nico Horner or Matt Shaw is in the 200s. OPSs are at 600 or lower. Some are even lower than 500 PCA. So these guys who really carried the offense in the first half, we need them back. We need even half of what they were if they want to finish strong and make the playoffs and maybe win a few games. They have to do it. The pitching cannot continue to perform the way that they are. They're going to regress to the mean eventually. So we need these bats to wake up.
So you rattled off all the names. My biggest bone to pick right now is with, and again, maybe he needs a Kyle Tucker, Ian Happ like reset for a couple days, is with Seiya Suzuki. He looks lost up there and a lot of his success early in the season came from Kyle Tucker's success. And, they give Seiya better pitches to hit when they're dealing with Kyle Tucker. Well, I don't think that it's a secret here. Seiya Suzuki's power is to left field. Pitchers are not pitching him inside right now. They're just not doing it. It's a lot of high and outside fastballs that are getting him out, and he's either swinging and missing completely or making weak contact.
Or he's watching. He's watching them.
A lot of watching.
That's a lot of it, too.
Carson Kelly is another one who is watching quite a bit. But when this offense was really good in April, May, June, Carson Kelly was hitting 8, 7, 8, 9. So it's a bonus. I think, again, it's not an indictment. Carson Kelly is a good defensive catcher with an average to below average bat. That's what he's been historically for his career. So I'm expecting him to have a average to below. He's having an above average season for him.
Right.
So for this offense to be successful, he cannot be hitting 5. He needs to be a bonus.
Or 4.
Yeah.
Or 4.
Or 4.
That's a joke.
He needs
it's
to
a
be
joke.
a bonus bat at the end of the lineup that you're
Right.
not relying on. Like Reese McGuire.
Right.
When Reese McGuire's in there, gosh, guy hit a grand slam the other day. And you're like, wow, that's really nice out of the 9 spot. Right? But if he strikes out 3 times, that's okay. He's our backup catcher. We don't care.
Right.
But
and he might run into a home run, and he's going to throw some guys out, and he's going to play really, really well behind the plate.
So
he's going to manage the staff.
I don't pick on Carson Kelly because he's slotted too high in the lineup. That's a Craig Counsell thing. But Seiya Suzuki needs a couple days off. And if you can't move him down in the lineup, then he needs to sit for a couple days, figure it out, regroup. One of the best things I saw out of Kyle Tucker was that he went the other way the other day, which he never does. Like, all right, well, then he's showing a little, not willingness to change, but just he's pull heavy. They know that. So if he can go the other way and still hit a line drive, that's good. But what's your biggest concern? Is it PCA? Is it?
I don't think it's Pete as much, because Pete has other things that he does well. Namely playing defense. He leads all of baseball in defensive run saves. He's the best outfielder in the game. So Pete, I think we can kind of expect what he's doing now. Maybe not to this extent. I think he'll rebound a little bit, but there's no way he was going to be able to keep up that pace he was on. But for him to fall off this far, his swing or pitch recognition is really, like, in the struggles, it's shown how poor it is. I think he has like 28 strikeouts and 3 walks this month, which is not good. He was another one of those guys, like a 484 OPS this month, which it dropped off a cliff. We were thinking 40-40 at a certain time if he was just able to keep up an average thing. He'll probably be 30-30. Only he's got two more homers, but not so much worried about Pete because of the glove. Seiya is for sure the concern for me. They really need him back, and where he's really been strong is finishing the season. The prior 2 years really caught fire, really did well. They need him to finish strong because he has really been a problem at the top of the lineup in a bad way. He only has 3 extra base hits this whole month. He's swinging a wet newspaper. I believe 2 of those came in one game, to be honest. But yeah, your 3, pretty much, all the Cubs power, Michael Busch, PCA, Ian Happ, Seiya Suzuki, Kyle Tucker, all of them have OPSs 600 or less for the most part. Cannot have that from all your top hitters. You got to score some runs. This pitching staff has been unbelievable. I think in the past month they had about 20 quality starts, which is crazy. The bullpen has been awesome, namely Keller, Thielbar, and Pomeranz have been great. Palencia has gotten roughed up a little bit, and he's been throwing a lot of pitches, but has been showing up and really grinding through some stuff. He's been doing that walk thing, but he is so Daniel Palencia, the fastball, the splitter, the slider, like, he's got incredible stuff. I'm not worried about him so much, but the offense has got to help the pitching out, and that was not made any more clear than when I was at the game, the last game against Milwaukee, where Shota just went out there, really made one mistake the entire game, and they couldn't help him out.
Part of the problem is going to be, though, we're going to get to the end of this year. Seiya Suzuki is having a career year already, number-wise. The batting average is dipping. But number-wise, you're going to go to the end of the year and go, wow, he had a really good year. Michael Busch is having an incredible year compared to where he was last year. So the back of the baseball card, as Hoyer and Carter Hawkins like to go to, the back of the baseball card is going to look good for the season. Now, this couple month stretch that they're going through as an offense doesn't feel that way. That's kind of the perspective you got to have. It's like, all right, well, these guys should be able to return to some sort of form. That's where you hold your hope. But I think you nailed it with Suzuki. The problem with him is there is no glove. And when he is out there with a glove, it's a liability. So when you're solely the DH, you have to do more as a hitter only to stay in my opinion, to stay in the lineup and be hitting out of the 3 or 4 spot. So you're right, PCA, you're not going to take him out. Like he's Gold Glove. Dansby Swanson last night made an incredible play. I don't really care what Dansby is hitting, to be honest with you. He's hitting maybe 250, 245, whatever.
Yeah.
His glove.
About career average.
Yeah, his glove deserves to be in there. Matt Shaw has had an amazing year defensively, and he's starting to come around. Nico Horner, same thing. He's having a career year from an average standpoint, but the glove is always there. Suzuki, it's not, and I think that's a good point to address. However, we talk about bats. One of the bats they wanted to bring in was Eugenio Suarez. So Gino Suarez, because we're clamoring for this, and it's okay to be wrong, especially when I'm not doing the payroll. It's no secret the Cubs gambled on Matt Shaw, and that is working. They gambled on him in spring training. They don't need a third baseman. They gambled on him at the trade deadline, and they've won that as well. Suarez, since being traded to Seattle, 24 games, has 5 home runs, 14 RBIs, hitting 174 with 31 strikeouts. Not good. That is not. However, Seattle is playing well. So he is a 0 WAR player for Seattle. He's not negative or positive. I think they avoided that one. I would have taken him, but I think they avoided Gino Suarez because, well, he has more homers than Seiya Suzuki does in that stretch. And I would imagine I'd have to dig deep to get Seiya's numbers, but that's not much better of a hitter. And he probably would be taking reps away from your best player currently right now, who is Matt Shaw. So that was something to avoid.
Yes. Yeah. Like I said, I'm not disappointed that they really didn't add any offense. I mean, Willie Castro has been nice in that he can play multiple positions. He has not had terrible at bats, but the I guess durability or the just flexibility to play several positions well is definitely helpful. But I don't want to see him spotting Matt Shaw. I don't want to see him spotting any of the guys who are hitting. And that was the biggest thing from that last game in the Brewers series is that you're going into Game 5 with the chance to win 4 games in a row against the best team in baseball, and you sit Shaw and Casey. Yeah. And Tucker had come off of 2 days off and looked terrible, very non-competitive swings. It's and then later in the game, they subbed Casey, or they subbed Shaw in on they pinch hit Casey in the lineup, and then subbed Shaw defensively. So Shaw didn't get a chance to get an at bat in the game at all. So it's why did and I think they took Dansby out. They subbed Shaw for Dansby, moved Castro to the outfield, but essentially they had Casey hit for Dansby and then subbed Shaw defensively. So Shaw doesn't even get in that bat. It's what? That just doesn't make any sense to me.
I've been disappointed with the use of Owen Casey since Tucker's been reinstituted to the lineup. I like his swing. I like what he's doing. He had a bunch of clutch hits against the Brewers. I don't understand it. That's when I won't get.
Right.
I don't understand why you need to keep getting Justin Turner at bats. He hasn't really shown anything. You need to find, especially with guys like Suzuki, and Hap's been hitting better, but Hap's been struggling this year, and Tucker's been struggling. There is room to find Owen Casey at bats almost every day.
Right.
Especially if he's hitting well, he can help you. He goes the other way. He's got a really nice long swing through the zone.
It
looks like
you
Kyle
were just
Tucker,
saying. Right. His power is left center. He drives the ball in the gap. He's a big, strong kid.
Yeah.
And I'm excited for what he's going to be.
It made sense when I saw him because, again, you can see him at AAA hitting 20 homers, whatever. It made sense why they didn't want to move on from him, and it makes sense that he will be a piece in the future, and it may be the reason they don't sign Kyle Tucker.
Right,
But
right, and in our group chats and stuff, and in the past, like I said that when it comes to these Cubs, like these younger hitting prospects, like there's no one who moves the needle for me. Well, it's like,
yeah,
well, it's kind of ignorant for me to say that. I don't watch AAA.
right.
I look at stats, but it's like when you think of a guy like Kyle Tucker, it's like this guy's a superstar. They need a superstar. They need to do this. They need to put up the money. But it's like, I mean, maybe there's room to sign Tucker, but like Casey is definitely the real deal. He can
Yep.
definitely play a corner outfield position. He can do a lot of things well, and yeah, I mean, if he can spray the ball all over the ballpark and if his powers to left center, being a left-handed hitter, that's impressive. That means he sees the ball deep, he drives it. I'm excited for him.
Yep.
I'm sure Ballesteros will come up when
I'm not
they expand the rosters. But
I'm not as
good
excited
bat.
about Ballesteros because we have seen a little glimpse of him at the major league level. I know he crushes AAA hitting or pitching. His at bats at the major league level looked a little immature. So, and
Right.
he's again, I'm not a size like I'm not like he has to be a certain size. You know, it's Dustin Pedroia that had an amazing career, but he's not. It just he wasn't overly impressive to me as a major league hitter. Owen Casey
Right.
came up and he looks very impressive, and that's the
Right.
difference. So I'm not like holding on to that Moises spot because also he doesn't have really a position. He's just a DH already.
Right.
So Owen Casey he's a good outfielder. He made a couple good plays in the outfield too. So I can't complain. But let's dig in a little more. So we have a lot of Chicago rookies, but we'll stay on the Cubs for now. We mentioned Matt Shaw. His last couple months, because again, he started the season with us in Tokyo, went back down to Iowa, came back, and since then, he has been arguably the Cubs' best hitter. Currently at a 2.7 WAR. I don't care about that. But 11 homers, 34 RBIs. But his last stretch has been really impressive, and his defense, above anything else, has been extremely impressive. It's
Yeah.
sometimes hard to read defensive stats, standard fielding. But you just look at the baseline. He's only made 6 errors. I think most of those been throws, to be honest with you. And they were worried about his ability to actually field the ball. So
Hmm.
I'm just overly impressed with
Man.
him at third base.
Right. He is something else, and it's like when he doesn't make a highlight reel play in a game, I think it's just because he doesn't get the opportunity.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah.
because he just there's very few times where I scratch my head and it's like, oh, he should have made that play, but it's like you expect it after a while. One deeper defensive metric that pops up quite a bit is defensive runs saved. That's something that people go to a lot. It's not everything. There's range factor, and it's not
Yeah.
just like errors and fielding percentage and outfield and assists and all that stuff and chances. It's not just that stuff. There's deeper stuff, but Matt Shaw is tied for second among all third basemen in defensive runs saved. He has 9 in like 98 games, which is crazy. Ke'Bryan Hayes is at 16. He's just a
Yeah.
magician defensively, but for Matt Shaw to be there first full season, like Brian Hayes has already won a Gold Glove. We already know he's an elite fielder, but like for Matt Shaw to be doing this, he can play. I think he could play any position in the infield. He could probably play outfield, but for him to be doing this at an important position like third, he can make the throws. He gets rid of it so fast. He's very quick. He's just gritty, and it's fun to watch. And yeah, I mean, I think all of our concerns were put to bed. He has played so well, and this is a guy who is a hit first player. Like the hit tool is his number one tool, but for him to be doing this, I mean, you look all around the infield. Really on their entire roster. Like the Cubs are an elite defensive team. They're I think a top 3 defense in baseball. But you look at like Shaw, Dansby, and Nico are
Yep.
elite. All 3 of them,
He
like unbelievable.
he has entered the
And then
chat.
PCA too.
Yep.
PCA too.
He has entered the chat of the top 10 third basemen. I don't know if it was from MLB.com or whatever, but like he is in the top 10 third basemen right now. That's
Right.
he just cracked that
And
list. So
and he could if he plays a full season and he still if he depending on how hot he stays, he could be a 2020 guy. Like a
yeah,
20
yeah.
20 bombs, 20 stolen bases. He already has 15 stolen bases.
His
So,
base running, it's so
man,
um,
he's fast.
so they were Nico was talking about Matt Shaw because Matt Shaw, as I alluded to, he runs recklessly. I don't know a better way to say it than that. Nico is very efficient with his running, is a good way to put it for him because like he cuts the corner perfectly and he's just got the arms pumping and he's in a straight line. His body's aligned. Matt Shaw has his arms flailing and he's doing like his helmet's flying off, but he's fast. So I think they clocked him. I think Matt Shaw's a little faster than Nico, and he's like, not surprised. He goes, but I look good when I'm doing it, and when he slides in, it's very controlled, and he just knows what he's doing. But if he's given the opportunity, to your point, the innings, the games, I think he's only started 88 games, so that's a crime. But if you give him the chance and just let him, again, over the course of 162, figure out the bat and just let that average kind of go. Defensively is not the question. I think that was the question coming in: is can he handle Major League third base? And that is a resounding yes.
Yes.
The other Cubs rookie, Cade Horton, has been unbelievable. He just got off before his Toronto start. He got off a stretch of like 29 consecutive innings without letting up a run. Even I have his last 5 starts up here right now. He's only allowed 2 runs. I know the short outing against the Brewers was because of a blister, but then he came back versus the Angels and pitched 6 shutout innings. He's been my biggest thing with him because he's fun to watch. I know we don't know how many innings he has in his arm because he just hasn't pitched this many, but he is efficient with his strikes. Last start, 74 pitches, 55 strikes. Start before that, Brewers will wash out. Start before that was in Toronto. 82 pitches, 53 strikes. The one before that in Cincinnati, this is my favorite. 67 pitches, 56 strikes. Like 88%.
It was an 80%. Yeah.
That is my favorite kind of pitching. He's in the zone and saying, try and hit this, and they're just not. He's got good strikeout numbers, low hit totals, and he's in the zone. And it's just compared to what we've seen some other times with like Boyd's been getting in trouble because he's walking too many guys, right? So this is just a completely different style of pitching that we are familiar with, but it's just we like to see a little more from our starters.
Right. And he's not throwing beach balls up there.
No.
Like he's not his stuff moves. He's got nasty stuff and it's like it's not his delivery is not really even all that deceptive. The ball just moves. Like his changeup falls off the table, and it's like he throws this fastball that has some cut on it that's 98 miles an hour, and it's like I don't even think Cade Horton knows who he's going to be yet. He's so new to being a pitcher full time. When he was at OU, he played third base and he hit. Like he has not been a full time pitcher for very long in his career yet, like his upper collegiate and early pro career. But like you were saying, you just don't know how many bullets are left in the chamber. Like I don't know if they're going to be able to rely on him down the stretch just because he's been injured and he just hasn't built up that stamina yet. But if this is any indication of who he's going to be, like the Cubs picked a gem and he's got some great players and veterans to learn from. It'll suck when he is shut down. I know he'll be in the dugout and still trying to learn, but yeah, it's been such a treat. And this last month, what does he have, like a .72 ERA, like something ridiculous like that? It's bonkers.
Let's see. It doesn't have accumulation for his last one, but he's got for the season 2.88 ERA, 93 innings, which is 20 something more than he's thrown. 29 walks, 77 strikeouts. So, that's just – it's really efficient. It's really good. I think when they first called him up – because he also has some innings in Iowa. So this is, just add to the number of innings he has. This was a guy that you brought up and you're like, okay, he's filling a spot. But now you can't take him out. Like, you need this guy. He's been your best pitcher.
Right.
So he's definitely entered the Rookie of the Year talk. I know there for a while it was Isaac Collins, but he doesn't do a lot. So when his average
Right.
starts to dip, it's like, well, Drake Baldwin's in the conversation. Now Cade Horton is for sure in the conversation. He's having an incredible year. Um, yeah, just a lot of fun there.
Right.
And the other side, we don't talk about this team much, but they're starting to get a little bit of traction on some of their
Yeah.
prospects. Colson
Yeah.
Montgomery has been gaining my attention. He's been up for 43 games, and he has 14 home runs. So
Yeah.
almost every other game he's hitting a home run. Um, he was not having this much success at the lower levels, and they were kind of concerned. This year at Charlotte, he has a 218 batting average. Last year, he at Charlotte hit 214. So this isn't a guy that is propelling through the system, pushing, knocking on the door. But he was a high draft pick. He's a high prospect.
Yeah.
Highly, I mean,
Yeah.
he's got all the accolades.
Right. He's got all the
However,
tools. He's
all the
big
tools, yeah.
guy, 6'3".
Steve Stone said he's like, well, Cal Ripken was a big shortstop. Sure, okay, but the stretch he's on, he should play. Especially for the White Sox, should be playing every day. But what he's doing is just so impressive. He's worth looking at, and if you're a Sox fan, he's worth going to the ballpark for, in my opinion.
Right. Right. And I mean, this is your guy, man. He's 23 years old. He's really starting to shine. He can play both the hot corner and shortstop. He can drive in some runs. Yeah, the long ball is really nice, but yeah, whatever you can do to get people in the ballpark, man. I mean, it's great to see. And you start to wonder, like, especially in case you didn't know, we were talking about the White Sox guys. The White Sox are a team we don't talk about very much. But yeah, I mean, you're starting to wonder, like, if this talent evaluation and if this player development is the ticker off. But
Yeah.
even if it's a team that you don't particularly care for, it's like you want to see these young guys succeed. You want to have fun going to the ballpark. Like it's fun when even when the White Sox have some fun players. Like it's a good thing. It's like we don't want baseball is such a hard game. You don't want these guys to fail. You want them to succeed.
Well, it's also too. I mean, if some of these guys don't start succeeding, then what do you do? And it's
Right.
for a guy like this. Again, I have his entire minor league history up here. He didn't excel at any level, but now he's having. Again, he's only hitting 230, but just the production success that he's having at the major league level, I think sometimes is just, when you get up to this level, it's just they turn it on. It's like, all right, I'm gonna, now's my chance. So
Yeah.
for an organization like this, where I don't want to say any at bat is meaningless, but giving these at bats to a Chase Mydroth, I don't know if he's your future, but they're more valuable to a guy like Colson Montgomery, who's taking advantage of it. And he's been playing third. He's been playing short. He's been playing a little bit everywhere, DH, whatever. But just getting major league at bats, I think, is so important because as we documented, the major league pitching is so much better than the AAA pitching. So having success on there doesn't really equate to much, right?
Right. Right. But the thing is, it's like I want Chase Mydroth to play well too. Like he's a really
Yeah.
talented young player. He was one of the guys I believe they got from the Red Sox in the Crochet trade, or he's definitely from the Red Sox. And then I think he was traded from another organization to get to the Red Sox organization before. But it's like ideally you'd like to see Mydroth out there. You'd like to see Montgomery out there. Another guy I want to highlight for the White Sox, young kid, is Kyle Teal.
Kyle Teal. Yep.
Big part of the Red Sox big three, big four if you include Christian Campbell, but he was probably the big piece in the Crochet trade. And man, what a player! Definitely hit tool first, but really solid catcher. But when it comes to the bat, man, special talent. College kid, University of Virginia, first rounder in 2023. Or 2021, I believe. Or no, he's a 23, and he's 23. So, but yeah,
he's been good.
Yeah,
from day one-
294 average.
Yeah.
He's averaging about a hit a game. He has 12 extra base hits. I mean, he's
So-
catching a lot.
So the White Sox just a couple days ago DFA'd Edgar Quero.
Yeah, Cairo.
He was kind of stealing at bats from Kyle Teal because he was having success against righty. I can't remember which one he was having success against because I haven't watched a White Sox game in that long. But he was having success against one side of the plate. It's like, oh, he's got to get at bats. He's got to get at bats. No, he doesn't. If you're not invested in a guy like that,
no,
I don't want to.
Kyle Teal is your guy.
Yeah,
play him.
Get him out of here. Give as many. And granted, you don't want a kid coming up and catching 145 games. Like you need a backup, but you don't need a guy that's a distraction to him getting at bats against righties and lefties because he's not a specialist, right? He's your future.
But for Teal, it's like he's another guy where the hit tool is his calling card. Like that's why he was one of the best college hitters coming out of the draft in 2023, and he has proven that in the minor leagues too. He's had great minor league success with the bat. And it's like, who cares about the splits? Like, get this guy as many opportunities to hit as you can. When he's not catching, you're DHing him. He can play some outfield. Like, get the guy at bats. Like, he is your future.
And I would argue, there's no meaningless baseball games, but if you're trying to work on his catching and his managing a pitching staff, now is the time. Not when you're ready to win. So. Again, if his bat's going to be in the lineup like, William Contreras in Milwaukee, like you're going to have him in the lineup either way, good. That's what you want. You want a position like that with value at the hit tool as well as fielding. But if you need to work on the fielding part and also a young kid managing a pitching staff, catch him as much as you can, right?
Right.
That's just
right. William Contreras, Cal Raleigh, like those guys DH when they don't catch. Yep. So.
All right. Well, one more. This will be a fun before we get to our last topic. So Jacob Wilson, I'm going to go to his stats really quick. Jacob Wilson this year has, oh gosh, I lost it. Here we go. He hit his 12th home run of the season last night. Okay. Yep. So 12 here. He didn't have any last year. That's fine. That's not what I'm focusing on. Also, I love his strikeout numbers. 31 strikeouts for the whole season in 99 games. His father had a career high of 12 home runs. In 2004, he had a all-star season, hit 308. Also only struck out, 71 times, but he very good strikeout, not striking out hitter. So how cool is it that you have your son is the spitting image of you? However, he is a much better power hitter than you because other than the 12 homer season, Jack Wilson's next highest total was 7. So Jacob Wilson.
Well, I hope Jacob Wilson
flexing.
I hope that he is not done hitting home runs because I need him to hit more.
I don't think he is
for fantasy purposes.
He's got a good swing. He's got an aggressive swing. I like what he's doing, but I just like the parallel and that he can go flex on his dad and say, "Boy, I'm the power hitter of the family." Usually it doesn't happen that way. But today's game, a little different. But, again, also like those strikeout numbers. I think, if I'm correct right now, Luis Arraez has struck out less than 20 times this year. Love that. So those are cool numbers. All right, now to the AL wildcards. Apparently there's some drama there, and I was going to ask you, I don't understand it. I don't understand the drama. So
the AL wildcard or the AL MVP race?
Sorry, the wildcard is always drama. AL MVP race, I didn't know there was drama. I assumed, and for my viewing purposes, there's a one-man race, and Cal Raleigh, whatever he decides he wants to do, especially because he just hit his 50th home run of the year, all-time leader for catchers. Where's the drama? Who's pushing other than him?
I just see it like on a lot of these shows and roundtables and podcasts with guys who played and guys who've been around the game forever. It just seems to be this like power. It's like a power like struggle. Like,
well, what's one other name? At least pull up one other name, and I will pull a side-by-side screen here.
Well, the Judge is the other one.
Oh, Aaron Judge. Well,
it's Raleigh. It's Raleigh. It's Judge, and even Bobby Witt Jr. If you look at his numbers, like Bobby Witt Jr. is having a really great year, but it's Judge and Raleigh. But people are saying, well, just because Raleigh has hit more home runs and driven in more RBIs, like Judge leads in every other category and blah 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 blah. It's just like Judge can be the best player in baseball, but it doesn't mean he's the MVP. And especially when it comes to playing the catcher position, like I don't know. If you just look, there's just a lot of stuff, and I don't know. I have all their numbers and that in front of me. So do you. But
well, I have it more so the viewers at home can see on the screen.
Right.
The only thing I could see people again, catcher. He's a catcher, and he's a damn good catcher.
Right.
5.9 WAR. I don't care about WAR. Judge right now is at a 6.8 WAR.
Right.
I mean, you scroll across the numbers. Besides batting average,
runs, OPS. I mean, there's stuff, but it's like Aaron Judge has played a third of his games at the designated hitter position, and the other like 80 games he's played in right field, half of those at Yankee Stadium. Like, he doesn't really move the needle on defense. Raleigh, after looking into his numbers defensively, he is not he's not making mistakes. I think he only has 3 errors. I did see an interesting stat that he is not allowed to pass the ball. He is not allowed to pass the ball all year, which is crazy. But he doesn't have he doesn't have like the other metrics that he did last year that made him the Platinum Glove winner. He's been very average when it comes, or below average when it comes to some of the other things that he really excelled at last year. But for him to be a switch hitting catcher, he's caught 100 games behind the plate. He caught his 100th game today. Yeah. Like, managing a top like 10, 15 pitching staff, like, for you to be a switch hitting catcher, he's got 30 homers from one side, 20 from the other. Like, for you to do this in kind of historic fashion, like, to me, that says something. And then if the Mariners make the playoffs on top of it or win the division, to me, there's not a debate. But with Judge, they're saying that from several years ago now, when he had all the accolades, but Jose Altuve hit 356 and Judge hit 284. They gave Altuve the MVP because of the batting average. Well, he hit 356, and he did well in a lot of other categories. But they said, like, just because you have most or a lot of home runs and a lot of RBIs, like, that doesn't mean you're the MVP. But it's like Jose Altuve did a few more things than that in that season. But, like, to me, again, what Raleigh's done is historic. I think if he finishes with more homers, more RBIs, catches like 120 games, Mariners make the playoffs or win the division, I don't think there's any way that he doesn't win the AL MVP. Like, so, there's no way.
Aaron Judge has 2 MVPs. His first one, 62 homers, 131 RBIs, MVP. The second one was last year.
Probably led the league in both categories.
He led the league in both categories, had 111 walks, led the league in that, led the league in on-base percentage, slugging percentage, and OPS. 2024 last year, second MVP, 58 homers, 144 RBIs, led the league in all those categories, walks again, on-base percentage, slugging percentage, OPS, league leader.
Okay, what about the year the year that he took second, which would have been his rookie season or maybe a little bit after? Like, usually on Fangraphs, it's highlighted when they lead in a category.
It is. 2017, he finished second. 52 homers. 52 homers, 114 RBIs. Didn't lead anything else. But still, compared to this year is a little more reminiscent of 2023, though he has a few more RBIs and the batting average is up. What Cal Raleigh is doing from the catcher position is historic. I think you have to acknowledge that, and that is what it is. I don't understand the debate, honestly. I think what he's doing behind the plate and still playing great defense warrants the MVP. Aaron Judge has missed a little bit of time, and his numbers are just they're still, I would take those on my team. I'm not saying that.
Right.
But they're down from what he's been doing in his MVP type seasons in terms
Right.
of production, not necessarily batting average or OPS or any of that stuff, but
Right.
production is a little down from his MVP.
Yeah,
seasons.
still a great player, and in a different year where Cal Raleigh is not having a historic season for a catcher.
Yeah.
Judge is probably the MVP walking away. Like, it's not even close.
Well,
but
this is why I don't like WAR when you're comparing two different positions, because if you take Cal Raleigh out of Seattle, also he'd probably hit more homers because that's not a hitter-friendly ballpark. But it's hard to value a catcher, and they're not obviously valuing it high enough. And the quality catcher he is, because his highest WAR season is this year at 5.9. But last year he's a platinum glove and he's only at 4.7. Well, I'm sure he was worth a hell of a lot more to that team than a 4-win swing, right? So yeah,
right. And I mean, the other thing is that, like, it's not even like some of the defensive metrics are down based on his platinum glove year, which again is understandable, but it's more so that he's doing what he's doing at the plate. And like, the catcher position just takes such a toll on your body. You're squatting, you're taking a beating. Like, Aaron Judge is essentially like he's DHing and he's playing right field. Like, not to say that right field's not an important position, but it's like it doesn't do as near the damage to your body as what a catcher position would do. And then the other thing I will say, Cal Raleigh's got 14 stolen bases too. So if he can get about 20 stolen bases, like, I don't see why not.
Aaron Judge has 8.
Yes.
Again, not that he never steals bases. His highest total is 16.
Right.
But yeah, that's all. Throw that money. I didn't even look at that. Yeah, 14 stolen bases. Yeah. His on base percentage.
I don't know.
352.
I just don't. I don't think it's a debate, especially if Raleigh finishes the season strong. Like, it shouldn't. Like, do not use, like, you can't use a couple stats. You got to look at the whole thing. You got to look at the whole picture. The NL MVP is a little bit different. I mean, it's definitely going to be Ohtani now, and it's not even close. He shows up.
It's a good conversational piece. However, I don't think it's an actual debate when people vote on this. People acknowledge what he's doing. Ohtani's a little different. I don't know. If you add his pitching in, I think that actually hurts him, which is what we were saying the whole time.
Yeah.
I think he
just
has
don't pitch.
A 4 or 5 ERA now. And his hitting has suffered as a result.
Right.
Because Shohei Ohtani.
And his legs have suffered too.
Yes. I can be a Shohei Ohtani hater. I can be that guy. But don't tell me, I'm going to pull up his stats right now. Don't tell me he's not affected by pitching or working on pitching. Because, again, last year, we all remember, 50-50 season. Well, guess what? 45 homers, great. 17 stolen bases. Last year, he had 59. Don't tell me he's not suffering a little bit. Because you know what? Every other year when he's been pitching, 11 stolen bases, 26 stolen bases, 20 stolen bases. Don't tell me.
How many runs did he score last year? Doesn't he have like 122 this year already?
He had 134 last year. He's got 122 this year.
Oh my gosh! Like, I don't think the stolen bases matter as much when you scored that many runs, but whatever.
But he's not even attempting. He's only attempted 24. Yeah. So he hasn't even attempted enough to get that high. And it's not because he's not getting on base. Like, he gets on base.
He gets on base.
So
he does get on base.
Yeah, that's not the problem. But again, 45 homers. He's just going to be that guy because he swings a lot, but he also strikes out a lot. Got 156 strikeouts already. He will. I don't know if he'll get 189. That was his 2021 total, but he might. He might. You never know. But don't tell me the pitching doesn't affect the hitting, because you're right, it does. The legs for sure. I would take him as a DH. You know, they have plenty of pitching. They don't need him.
Right.
Maybe out of the bullpen. But, that's
agreed.
That'll be fun to watch play out. It's a good conversation for now. Again, we just kind of wait for it as it comes. Gosh, my all BCIP team picks still don't look good, even though we just redid them. So that'll maybe I will get my picks right when the season's over and we have all the numbers in front of us and we can just pick the right numbers. But that's the fun of doing this. But also a little revealing of how wrong you could be even in a couple weeks, because I had Seiya Suzuki as my DH over Otani, and that's not really working out for me. But not that it's competition, but it's just
Right.
a thing. Just guys I like.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, and again, for the Cubs, I'm looking down. I'm not looking up anymore at the Brewers. Just make the playoffs, so we'll see how that race finishes out. Like I said, they're first place in wild card. It doesn't seem like the Reds and the Cardinals are pushing too hard.
No.
The Reds are a good team. I wouldn't want to play them, but
they're tough.
But for now, we're in a good place. That's where you want to be. And again, the NL or the AL race is just as tight. 1.5 games separates the Red Sox, the Yankees, and the Mariners. So anyone's race there.
3 good teams.
Yep, 3 good teams.
Yeah.
And the Brewers can win as many regular season games as they want. I don't. It's fine. It's fine.
Right.
No one's crying. I'm not crying.
We'll just try our best to enjoy the rest of the season. Get to the ballpark, whatever ballpark that may be, as much as possible. I'm going to try to go to a Tigers game in a few weeks. They're playing really well again. Try to catch a Scooble start, hopefully. And we will be in Appleton this weekend, catching some of the high-flying prospects for the Brewers. See what the Timber Rattlers have to offer from a ballpark experience. I've never attended a game there, but excited to hang out with Nick Gunther and have him show us around and show us the full ballpark experience. Looking forward to it.
Yep, with Jesus Made and Pena.
Luis Pena, yeah.
Luis Pena.
Mm-hmm.
Some baseball cards from them. So all
yeah,
fan giveaway.
For sure. Yes.
All right, well, that'll be fun. Looking forward to that. And until next time, boots come on pairs. Take it easy.
Peace.